I think we have to have a talk about your spending practices. You find a lot of...
Oh, I know.
How much have you spent on property the last 2 years, right?
Every mine has that one guy who doesn't speak much, but whose hard work keeps the camp going. Chris Doumit is one such name. He entered the mining world as an unknown, but today he has become the backbone of this entire team. He started out as just a welder, but he soon showed what it means to be a reliable worker. Today, Chris's most important responsibility is the gold room, the place where dirt, hard work, and hope are converted into gold. This is no easy job. One mistake, and thousands of dollars can go to waste. But Chris has understood the process so precisely that every drop of gold, every particle of precious dust, nothing goes to waste. But Chris's importance is not just in the machines and the numbers. He is the heart of that team. When the weather is bad, the machines fail, and people start losing courage. Then he is the person who keeps everyone together. His light-hearted jokes, calm demeanor, and experience bring the team back on track. If you admire hardworking legends like Chris Doumit, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring stories from the goldfields. How are you, brother? Nothing special, just nice to see you. Listen, how's it going? Refining gold constantly. Continuous mining is exhausting work. Long hours, bad weather, and frequent machine breakdowns make it even more difficult. In such a situation, having someone like Chris is a boon. He is not only reliable on the technical front, but also like a thread that holds human relationships together. This is the specialty of Chris. He doesn't just work. He builds a foundation of trust on which the whole team depends. In any team, when the going gets tough, when the machines are down, time is short, and the pressure is on, everyone looks to a person who can make a decision. Chris Doumit is that person. He is not just a morale booster for the team, but also a seasoned decision-maker whose opinion drives the entire operation. Whether it's improving the gold extraction process, repairing broken machines, or resolving differences within the team, Chris's insight comes in handy. Over time, he has proven that he is more than just an employee, but a pillar of strength in this entire mining journey. His biggest test came when he was given a very challenging goal: to run 3 wash plants and extract 10,000 ounces of gold in a single season. It was a goal that sounded unrealistic. Things were out of control, and the pressure was on Chris the most. Cleaning every sluice box on time, processing all the gold correctly, and making sure not a single grain was wasted. That was his responsibility. The job was so heavy that for the first time he even considered quitting. Now he started to think that the 10,000-ounce target was probably going to be a long way off. We might be able to get it out, but the cost would go up by 50%. Extra people had to be called in to handle the situation. But by then it was clear. If it wasn't for Chris, this dream would never have been realized. Chris's journey on Gold Rush is nothing short of an inspiration. A man who started with no prior mining experience has now become one of the most trusted names on the show. His hard work, dedication, and team-building skills have made him a fan favorite. Every team has someone who is less visible, but without whom nothing works. Chris Doumit is the strongest part of that chain. While others are in front of the camera or working on the machines, Chris is behind the scenes, making sure everything is done on time, correctly, and safely. If there is one person who is the foundation of this entire team, it is Chris, a foundation without which the whole structure can crumble. Every member of the team knows how things can go wrong if he is not there for even a day. But now, the question arises, is Chris now ready to stop? Years of constant hard work, mental pressure, and the race to break records every season have exhausted him. When a person moves at the same pace for too long, exhaustion is inevitable. If he leaves the team, there will be a huge void. And if he stays, he will have to endure the same tiring season again. In any case, change is now inevitable. Is the gold rush about to lose its most trusted and beloved man, or will Chris take the field for one last try? One thing is for sure. The search for gold is now more difficult than ever. As for Parker Schnabel, his journey has not been easy. Many people think he inherited everything, but the truth is that he has worked hard for everything. While other kids were playing sports, Parker grew up surrounded by mining machines. Born in the small town of Haines, Alaska, in the mid-1990s, Parker spent time in the mines with his grandfather, John Schnabel. While other kids played with toy trucks, he was watching real machines in action. This experience later became his greatest strength. Few people decide what they want to do in life in their teens, but Parker Schnabel made that decision much earlier. When most boys are confused about their career, Parker was running his own excavation site by then. His childhood was spent surrounded by machines, rough roads, and mud. He learned things from work on the ground, not from books. By the time he was in high school, his days were spent in the mine and his evenings on the basketball court. But deep inside, he knew. His real field lay elsewhere. College was talked about. He considered geology and mining, but eventually decided the real learning happened in the field, not in the classroom. He put his savings straight into mining. And that's when things started to change. At just 16, he took over his grandfather's mine, the Big Nugget Mine. Imagine a teenager guiding experienced workers. But he wasn't just giving orders. He was helping out every step of the way. Mining isn't just about digging holes. It's about patience, risk, and persistence. Parker proved himself on every front, through hard work, intelligence, and determination. Then came the twist that brought his life to the attention of the world, the Discovery Channel show Gold Rush. The show debuted in 2010 and followed families risking everything to find gold. Parker and his family were a part of it, and viewers quickly connected with the story of this young man who was defying all expectations. Sometimes the most important decisions are the ones that seem foolish to others. Parker Schnabel made one such decision at an age when people are mostly thinking about their future. When he was in his late teens, he took a bold step, leaving his family's familiar mine and heading to the Yukon. It was not an easy decision, but that's what Parker has always done, taking risks and turning them into results. He leased land, bought machinery, and started digging, all without a major network or security. And what he did in that first season was nothing short of an accomplishment. He single-handedly pulled over 1,000 ounces of gold out of the ground. It wasn't luck, but the result of hard work, planning, and perseverance. With each new season, his work grew bigger. Not just the gold grew, but his confidence and control grew too. He proved time and again that he wasn't just carrying on his grandfather's legacy. He was making his own mark. His story wasn't just about mining. It was about the idea that age knows no bounds. If you have the skill and the will to work hard, anything is possible. His success on Gold Rush wasn't the end of the tunnel. The show's spin-off, Parker's Trail, took the story even further, where he didn't just stop at one location to mine, but traveled to historic gold discovery sites around the world. He traveled to remote areas like Australia, Papua New Guinea, and the Amazon, not to show off, but to learn and be challenged. When your career becomes more of your identity than your work, your personal life takes a back seat. Parker Schnabel's story is similar. His success in the mining world gave him a lot, but also took away a lot. The rumble of machines, heavy soil, and a new challenge every day. That was his everyday life. But off the cameras, there was another Parker, trying to juggle personal relationships. At one point, he was in a relationship with Ashley, an Australian veterinary nurse. She appeared in a few episodes, but as the mining business and the show's popularity grew, the relationship didn't last. Parker himself admitted he couldn't balance work and relationships. If we ran a yard, we needed 155 milligrams, 40 buckets. For him, work always came first, and that's what set him apart. He's never been the kind of guy who would dig just to be on the show. He's really into this business. Finding gold is not a hobby for him, it's a passion. Now that he's in his 30s, he hasn't slowed down. He still takes big risks every season, accepting new challenges and pushing himself. Popularity hasn't slowed him down. It's made him more focused than ever. But the question remains, can he keep doing it forever? Mining is not an easy profession. It's exhausting, volatile, and risky. He's made millions and suffered huge losses. So, will he one day quit this grueling life and choose something more stable? Will he focus on mining, away from the cameras? Or is he so deep in this world that there's no turning back? Today, the name most strongly associated with modern gold mining is Parker Schnabel. The consistency with which he has proven himself in the industry is commendable. He never backs down, no matter what the conditions are, season after season. But the question remains, when the gold stops flowing out of the ground, what's left? Mining is a field where one wrong decision can ruin an entire operation. But those who know how to adapt with the times are the ones who survive. That's the difference between those who just try their luck and those who make a living at it. There have been many turning points in Gold Rush when the numbers changed everything. The show isn't just a tale of adventure, it's a real struggle. Digging for gold may look exciting from afar, but in real life it's grueling, dangerous, and mentally challenging work. Miners put money, time, and mental energy on the line every day, just to earn a few grams of gold. Take Season 3, for example. Todd Hoffman's team performed well for the first time after several disappointing attempts and mined over 800 ounces of gold. That earned them over $1 million, which certainly wasn't bad. But Parker Schnabel, on the other hand, was already proving himself. While the others were celebrating, he was quietly toiling away, single-handedly netting nearly 200 ounces of gold. Dakota Fred Hurt also mined around 160 ounces that season, but it was clear he was falling behind the pace of the new generation. When numbers speak for themselves in an industry, there's not much room for debate. There have been a few seasons in Gold Rush history when performance made all the difference, and Parker Schnabel's graph went up rapidly. Season 4 saw Parker lease land on Scribner Creek for the first time and surprise everyone by extracting more than 800 ounces of gold that same season. Then, he teamed up with Rick Ness and stepped it up, and their total topped 1,000 ounces. It was then that Parker was seen as the new leader over Todd Hoffman. Season 5 made the difference even more clear. Parker's team extracted more than 2,500 ounces of gold, earning nearly $3 million. Hoffman's team, on the other hand, extracted 1,300 ounces, the equivalent of about $1.5 million. While that was a good profit, it was far behind in comparison. It was like a new runner running full speed ahead of an experienced miner, and the others were just trying to catch up. The story got more interesting in Season 6. Now, Tony Beets, a veteran miner, came into the field with his family. He used a dredge that was probably older than some of his team members and still recovered more than 700 ounces of gold. But Parker was not going to stop. This season, he recovered close to 3,300 ounces of gold, which is worth about $3.5 million in the market. Hoffman's team also did better this time around, recovering close to 3,000 ounces of gold. But they still trailed Parker. If there's no gold in it, we're just wasting time. But this land is very different from the land we've been working before. When a job starts to perform consistently, averages are over, and the real competition begins. That trend was evident for Parker Schnabel in Season 7. His team mined more than 4,300 ounces of gold that year, worth nearly $5 million. Tony Beets and his team, working on dredge systems, only managed about 2,000 ounces. The difference was clear. Parker was not only mining more, but setting the tone for the entire industry. Season 8 solidified that lead. Parker's team mined more than 6,200 ounces of gold, worth close to $7.5 million. Tony Beets also performed well, mining more than 3,600 ounces, worth nearly $4 million. But by now, it was clear that Parker had surpassed everyone else in both strategy and effort. Then came Season 9, where a target of 7,000 ounces was set at Scribner Creek. Parker's team not only achieved that target, but exceeded it, landing over 7,400 ounces, worth about $9 million in market value. Meanwhile, Rick Ness, who was looking to step out of Parker's shadow and prove himself, barely cracked the 1,000-ounce mark. Tony Beets, on the other hand, had a target of 6,000 ounces, but managed just under 4,400 ounces. Once again, Parker prevailed, and it proved to be another challenging season for the others. Even though total gold production in Season 10 was 200 ounces lower than the previous year, rising gold prices led to higher earnings than ever before. By the end of the season, Parker's team had dug up more than $10 million worth of gold. Rick Ness, on the other hand, struggled at his new site in Duncan Creek. He barely recovered costs. Tony Beets also had to move his entire operation to Paradise Hill and extracted about 2,200 ounces from there. The competition was still alive, but it was clear that Parker was no longer just extracting gold. He was playing the whole game on a whole different level. When someone's name is recognized for results, not numbers, they're making a difference in their field. When Season 14 set a goal of 5,000 ounces of gold, it seemed like a tall order. But Parker Schnabel's team didn't just exceed it. They mined more than 7,300 ounces, worth an estimated $15 million in the market. That was no coincidence, but the result of consistent hard work and good decisions. Tony Beets, on the other hand, had a goal of 6,000 ounces, but things didn't work out, and he finished around 3,000. Rick Ness, who returned after a season's break, managed to mine a little over 1,100 ounces and earn nearly $2 million. The numbers don't lie, and Parker's team once again came out ahead of everyone else. Yeah, it's been really hard to get the right people to the Klondike. There are so many borders and immigration rules. And that's the reality of Gold Rush. It's not just about digging in the dirt and trying your luck. It requires strategy, patience, and a sense of risk. Some people figured that out early, while others are still trying to adjust. Each season, the weather has been treacherous, the machines have failed, and sometimes the gold has been less than expected. But the team that has kept their head in the game has won again and again. Parker and his team didn't just change the land, they changed their approach. They traveled to other countries, like Australia, to learn from their mining techniques, invest in new equipment, and look at how to reduce costs like royalties. That's why his team has come back stronger each season, because they're not afraid of change. The drama in Gold Rush is only a part of the reality. The reality is that this is a tough job and a risky one. One wrong decision can set you back years, and one right discovery can change your entire life. Parker has found that balance, and as long as he keeps making his decisions, the gold will keep coming. Each new season has viewers wondering, will any records be broken? Will Tony Beats be able to match it? Or will a new face emerge? The gold is still underground, but it's for the fastest, smartest, and strongest. And that leaves another question. Did Chris Doumit quit Gold Rush? Was it just exhaustion and pressure, or is there a bigger reason? What do you think? Comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more updates like this.